All right, so let's start a conversation on accountability part two, the second half, and the actual small course that Sam Silverstein put together. I mean, I know I've got so many notes. I was like writing until I got a hand cramp. So I'm sure Tay has a lot that he can rapid fire off right now. Tay, go ahead and take over.
Yeah, that was a lot. And I was trying to keep up. So some points I just have to, put quotations and just kind of redirect myself. But it's also good because we have to come back and rewatch this to get a lot of the meat that he picked out. But just a couple things that really stuck out to me. The first, he said, accountability is the commitments we make. And I love the fact that okay, go get the Pokemon. He let me know the Pokemon are coming. But he said the accountability is the commitments we make. And then he said a commitment is no matter what. And what I love about that is right now is a time to where like it's on display, like the commitments that we made prior to this pandemic happening, regardless that it's happening, like you still have to be committed to the things that you said you was gonna do because conditions is whether things are going good, whether things are going bad, are you going to continue to show up? So for us right now within our business, we understand like, this pandemic can happen, is bad, but there's good that's going to come out of this. So regardless of what's happening, we got to stick to our goals. We got to stick to everything that we wanted. And we have to understand like we're responsible, we're accountable to the people who need this opportunity. So right now isn't the time for us to be quiet about it. Right now is the time for us to blast it and just let people know the things that we have because we understand the power of network marketing. We understand the power of not relying on a job. We understand the power of really, like you said, autopilot is easy. Showing up to a job because you think that it's going to be there forever is easy, but actually taking responsibility for your life and building your own life, that is hard because you have to get into something where people are going to tell you no, and you have to accept that and keep going. So for us, it's understanding like this is something like it's she always says like it's simple, but it's not easy. If you just continue to do the simple things over and over, then you get more confident. Like you said, he said, let me go back to this, and this one was good. Man, I have to find that one. But he said, action follows belief. And what I love about that, as you get into this business, you don't just get in and become an ambassador diamond right away. Like you have to start out in the beginning. You have to build your belief. And that's what I love about leaders so much because we put our belief on people. We continue to tell people, we let them know up front, like you're going to hear no from people, but you have to keep asking. Like people who are closer to you are not, they're going to really show their true colors, but you have to continue to grow. So for us, it's just to understand if you want the life that you truly want, then you have to understand, like you have to embrace the struggles. You have to know that things are going to come against you, but that's just like Jim Rohn say, like when you decide, like when everything is going against you, you have to set your sail and go against it anyway, because if you want to go with the flow, you have to understand the flow is probably going to lead somewhere that's going to crash and end. But if you decide to set your sail and go after the things that you want, then you can get to exactly where you want to go in life. So just the second thing that I love that he said, we can't hold people accountable. It's about us keeping our accountability to people. And what I love about that, we're in the business where we feel like we have to tell people to show up to Zooms and they're just going to show up. The truth is they're not going to show up to the Zoom. The truth is they're not going to do the things that, you know they should be doing because you know what their why is. You know why they started the business. So it's not our job to judge whether they're doing those things. It's our job to just continue to provide those things to those people, continue to remind them of why they started. I think the one thing I love about what Carrie do, when people decide to join our team and our business is she asks them, why are you getting started? So when things start to crumble and they stop showing up, like she don't have to go and just harass them like you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. She go and she remind them of why they started. Are you gonna let these people down? Do you not want things that you said you wanted at the beginning? So it's her being accountable to them up front that when you first joined, I asked you why you started. So when things get tough, I'm not gonna like just get mad and just talk about you. I'm gonna remind you of the thing of why you're getting started. So I think as us being accountable to those people, we have to just continue to remind them of that why. And just the last thing, he said, live out commitments and values that define you. And what I love about that, when I decided that, football was no longer sports, was no longer the main thing in my life, I was just so stuck into the point that I was athlete. And, for me, just playbooks. I thought I was the position defined me, like I was a quarterback. Like that's when people knew me. A lot of people called me nickname, hey quarterback. And at the time I thought that was a good thing, but when I decided that you're more than a quarterback, like literally had to just remove this label, even though it was a good label because people are applauding you. People want to get autographs from you. People want all these great things from you. But when I decided like you're more than a quarterback, you're more than a playbook. And I decided to pick up the playbook of personal development. And I realized like, I'm not just leading the team on the football field to score a touchdown. I'm leading people to build a life that they truly want. I'm leading people to really break down labels and all these things that people have put on them their whole life and just pick up these new things that God has said that they are, and just really just giving people a platform to like invest in themselves, to build the life that they want, to become the person that they've always wanted to be. So for me, I think we have to get past the labels and the statistics, the things that, you know, define us. And the thing I love about It Works is when you think about an ambassador diamond, like you can't picture what an ambassador diamond look like. You can't picture what a black diamond look like. Somebody say, well, what does a black diamond look like? For me, that's somebody who was standing in the food line, who decided they no longer want to stand in the food line. So like you can't put a picture on that, but you can define what that person is. It was the person that wanted change and they decided to take action. They decided to invest in themselves. They decided to care enough for other people that they can show them a way like you don't have to do this forever. If you just believe in the things that you truly want and you start to align the right values and principles in your life, then you can get out of circumstances that you're in. So for me, I love It Works because the labels and the titles they have, it don't show you exactly who they are. You have people who promote the ambassador from just so many different aspects of life, but there are people who decided that, you know, they was tired of the circumstances they was in and they took action and they started investing. And I think as people started to get what they wanted in life, they in turn was not selfish and they started to show people there's a better way, and they started to care more for people. They started to invest in things that they truly care about. So for me, the thing I love about network marketing in this business is it gives us a platform so that we can be accountable to other people and not just settle for the life that we have and be focused on the things that we want in life. And it just gives us the opportunity to really, truly live out these things. Because you can say you want to be accountable at a job, but that job isn't going to provide you the means necessary for you to be accountable to change the world. But network marketing gives you that power to do so. It works, give you that power to do so. And they embrace that and they celebrate that and they tell you whatever the things that you want to do, go out and do it. And we're going to provide for you in ways that if you take action on the things that you truly want and you decide to just do these simple things every single month, like you're going to be rewarded for your efforts and what you deserve. And we're not going to just pay you what you think you deserve. You can earn your worth. So for me, it's about just understanding like the power of network marketing, the power of It Works that we have, and just really truly embracing that and just going out and just sharing that with the world. And I think as we do that, then we're doing our part by being accountable, by showing people there's a better way, and we have that better way, and we're just willing to share it with you guys. That's what I got, Joe.
Oh, that's all? Because that's like a blazing, fiery inferno, and now it's up to Chad to throw some gas on that. That was awesome.
But first, I just got to say, I really like that shirt you're wearing, Chad. It's such a great shirt. And you know, when I'm listening to you talk here, and I'm thinking about how, you know, when you had you quarterback, you had that label quarterback, and how although that was a, you know, prestigious and very important position and stuff, I'm just like, man, if you were just Tay the quarterback and we got to miss out on all this, like thousands upon thousands of people wouldn't have been able to get you in this way, which is so powerful. So I just have to say that I appreciate you, and I see that you're going to change so many families' lives and their kids and their kids and their kids and their kids. So you're doing the thing, man. So this was definitely a shotgun blast to the face. So much great information, just boom. But I think the two words he probably said the most times were accountable and commitment. Accountable and commitment. So my biggest takeaway is that. And when it comes to commitments, always about me keeping my commitments to you. So I think if we can keep that foremost, that's the part that we can control. We can't control when anyone else makes a commitment to us. That's why I believe in forgiving quickly, but trusting in increments, right? Because just because some new person comes in your life and says they're going to do something, you want to trust them. And if they let you down, you want to forgive them quickly, but then you have to trust in increments. And over time, someone earns your trust, and that you know that they're a person of their word, right? Because most of you guys would agree with me that there's way more people that are flaky in the world than that are a person of their word. So it's so serious. So that's the first thing is always us keeping our commitments to someone else. My favorite definition I've ever heard of commitment doing what we said we would do long after the feeling we said it in has left us. So we have to make sure when we are giving our word that we're thinking about, a week down the road, a month down the road, and not just willy-nilly, like, sure, I'll do this, and sure, I'll do that, sure, I'll do that. Oh, I got to cancel here, and I got to cancel here, and I got to cancel here, because every time we do that, it's like when you start a relationship with someone, you're opening a bank account. And when you make a commitment, you're putting a deposit in. But when you break your word, it's a withdrawal. It's a withdrawal. And it doesn't take too many withdrawals till you're in the negative. And then, of course, that person's not going to trust you anymore. Trust is lost quick, and it's gained slow. So, let's see. Next one here would be, I love how he was talking about the critical choice points and making the best ones. And again, I heard this recently. I thought this was so good, is a person who can say yes to everything doesn't have much going on. So if you find yourself able to say yes, 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 you're so spread out, you're so scattered, that because every yes we say to one thing is a no to a whole lot of other things. Like if you have a game plan this month and some random person calls you and says, hey, you want to come hang out with me for the next 3 days? And you're like, sure. Well, now you're gone for 3 days and you just scrapped what your commitments were. Now you're canceling on all these people, and you're going backwards when it comes to like building your life and building your business. So he went over the 10 things there. A couple that I just highlighted real quick was commit to discover your potential and help others. And my word is my bond. I think that's such a huge one. I love when he starts talking about these 10. He started talking about the 10 commitments, but I want to take this a step further. In business, I was taught years ago about like having 10 core commitments, and you might think of it as the 6 list, but what are things that you are committed to your business that you're going to do daily, weekly, and monthly, right? Are you committed to go to a conference for the next 5 years? Have you decided now that you will be at conference for the next 5 years? Have you decided now that when the quarantine's lifted, that you'll go to a monthly event where you leave your home and you're either at a rap, a try-it party or a one team, one mission or something that you're doing monthly? Are you committed to getting on Mark's Facebook Live every single Sunday night, maybe your team Zoom or something that you have where you're bringing the team together? Are you committed to showing up every single week, rain, snow, shine, feel good, or you got the flu? Are you committed to do that? Are you committed to showing up for your business every single day and reaching out and building your list and talking to your list and following up with your list? Those are the kinds of things that move the needle consistently over time. When you look at the people who accomplish their 3 distributors and 6 loyal customers monthly consistently, they're the people that are showing up. They're the people that are the most committed, the most accountable, and the most consistent. That's it. It's not any extreme talent. It's just that they're accountable, they're committed, and they're consistent. So they're constantly showing up. So a couple more things here. The safe space. I love that. Expectation is invitation. And what we permit, he said, what we permit, we endorse. I thought that was so huge. So we have to be advocates. Are you shushing me, babe? My wife is out the door going, shh. So distracting. But I think we have to be like, careful, like when our audience is around, if we just sit back and listen and there's some bad stuff going on, we are endorsing that by our silence. So, and it's tough sometimes to be the one that it's not fitting into the group. But if we're around, like, and say there's some people gossiping about someone else, we have to be that person and expect higher and lead our people and lead our team to a higher place. Otherwise, they're going to pull us to another place that we don't want to go. That's part of leadership. Part of leadership is not always doing the popular thing. So I love that reverse gossip concept, or fill in the blank, right? So a couple more things here. I thought of this too when he was talking about my way or the highway person. He was talking about the 3 different types of leadership. The one that's always learning, and gets to the point where the light bulb goes off and they understand. But then the third group, the ones that are it's my way or the highway, no interest in growing, only interested in the bottom line. I want to say, if you have a sponsor like that, don't let that take you out, because you are the leader of your organization. You are the CEO. You have to take ownership and look in the mirror today and be like, I am the CEO of my organization. So you might be in a position where you are the one that's going to be coaching and leading and teaching and that sort of thing. But what you have to remember is this person that brought you into the business, you should always, at least at a minimum, honor them. Like the Bible says, honor your father and mother. It doesn't say that you have to have a close relationship with them. They could have done you wrong, but you still honor them. Just like when we walk into the courthouse and they say, please rise for the honorable so-and-so, and we stand up. We don't know who the person is, but we're honoring their position. Well, that person who brought you into this business, like the person that brought us into the business, they went Ruby and then they kind of disappeared after that, right? But we will always be forever grateful to that person. Like if she reaches out to us, we're just like, oh man, well, let's help her out any way we can, because of her being in this business, it changed our lives completely. So don't let your sponsor be an excuse why you can't succeed. I think that's what I'm getting to. And then the last thing I'll say here is, like he said, we have to look ourselves in the mirror and say, I am accountable. And I think it's important that we're accountable to our family and we're accountable to some friends. We always talk about the five people you hang out with the most. You know, you become like the 5 people you hang out with the most. You have to be aware of who those 5 people are and what they're, are we okay with who we're becoming around them? Because we're always becoming something. And then our team, you know, we have to be accountable to our team. And it's a up and down accountability that when we're working with our team. So that's all I got. But this was awesome. I need to go back through it and just slow it down a little bit and let it sink in more.
Like I said, oh, that's all you've got? Okay, so maybe I've got 1 point left to share. Guys, this was so good. I mean, going back to the original thing that he said in part 1 was people are responsible to things and accountable to people. I think that's the overall point that people have to understand, because I think people put too much emphasis on being accountable to things instead of being responsible for them. The quality of your life is based on our relationships. The quality of our relationships are based on our ability to keep commitments. Quality commitments is what we both keep ourselves accountable to, and quality accountability is up to us. Accountability is always about service to other people. And then, you know, the concept of making commitments to yourself before you can commit to other people. You know, if you truly want to be a leader, you have to commit to yourself first before you can commit to your team. With this business in particular, have you committed to your business? Like Chad said, is this something that you're just dipping your toe in, or have you committed to this being the rest of your life? Because the moment that you commit to your business and commit to your actual promotions, it's not a matter of if, it's when it will take place. But you have to truly have that commitment, that burn the bridge behind you of what you knew and step into what you are going to do through this business, because it has a ripple effect. When people see you have that stance and that confidence, because confidence comes the moment you make a commitment. Once people see that confidence, it gives them confidence in themselves. Your personal commitment determines how people see you. So being accountable to just yourself is incomplete. The moment you make those commitments to yourself, now you have to do the second ripple, which is being accountable to the other people. When you're accountable to your team, the things that you do reflect where you're going. If your goal is to help other people, then you're going to have your own success. You know, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll always in turn get what you want. And actions always follow your beliefs. So do you believe in what you're being able to do? Accountable leaders commit to helping others find their full potential. I love that, because it's one of the things that the 3 of us so adamantly desire, is to help impart into you something that allows you to reach that next gear of your potential. But not only that, that you would take that and share it down to other people. So, you know, being accountable to other people's potential is just, I think, what we're here for. And we're so glad that you guys tune in for it. Becoming an accountable leader will allow your team to succeed. Remember, really being an accountable leader really doesn't have anything to do with you. It has to do with you being accountable to you so that you can lead. It's the action portion of what you do that draws others to be accountable to you, because you can't force them to be accountable. You can ask them to be responsible, but ultimately it's self that is accountable. I love not all leaders are accountable and not all leaders will become accountable. Like Chad alluded to earlier, if your leader is not in it for you, that's where the third leader is, the leader who is self-centered and it's all about them. That's okay. That doesn't have to be you. You change the culture in your team by becoming the leader of action that thinks and changes other people's lives. And then leaders who don't care, the my way or the highway, this is the thing about the business, that it's bottom line leadership. All they care about is the numbers. They don't care about the people. If you haven't heard anything in this yet, it sounds like accountability is more about people and relationships than it is metrics and numbers. So make sure that you're building accountable relationships. And then when he talks about creating an accountable world, your actions will ripple on to people that you may not ever know, creating an accountable legacy that could change generations. You know, the work you do today with your business, just today, think about it as if it's going to impact people 10 years down the road. You haven't met that person that's going to go diamond on your team in 10 years, but the work that you do today, the relationship that you build today, that person that you offer the opportunity today could lead to that black diamond on your team 10 years from now. That is why we work so hard, because we impact the lives that we haven't even come in contact with. That's the moment that we know we're going to be changing generations and changing our world. So guys, thanks for tuning in to this lesson, part 2 of accountability. Go back through and listen to it again, because man, I think Tay blew it up. Chad blew it up. There was a lot of information in here and I got to go back and take more notes. So guys, we'll see you next week. Have a good day.